top tips to release negative self-talk. So the thing is that we all have it to one degree or another. So it's such an important topic. Where would you start us off with on releasing negative self-talk?
I would actually go to the very end and then work my way back. And Moira's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
As in, what outcome would you like? And when I say what outcome would you like, so if you're having this negative self-talk and you're looking to release it, clearly, because you listen to this podcast, what outcome actually would you like? Because if you can see, and I talk about the flowers and the weeds. So to me, the negative self-talk is weeds.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Debz.
Hi.
Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. I'm looking forward to this conversation because I think it's a really important one. And it's something that I often have conversations with different clients and students, all about releasing negative self-talk. Such an important piece because, truth be told, it's always there, whether we like to listen to it or not. So we want to be able to release negative self-talk. So that's what we're talking about today, top tips to do so. But before we get into sharing with you our tips, and they will be coming in no particular order, and they will be they will be interspersed with, I should say, our own stories and quirks and peccadillos.
Glitter.
Yes, glitter. There you go. But dear listeners, if you've been here with us before, welcome back. We're so glad that you come and follow these conversations. And if you haven't been here, welcome. We always love to think that we're reaching further and further afield with our conversations. But what we like to do before we get into the meaty part of the conversation is to rate ourselves. And we call this our PEMS check-in. So what we're doing is we're checking in on ourselves to see how are we doing physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. PEMS. And we rate ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is where you're zened out, calm, blissful, peaceful, and feeling really good. And 10 is on the other side of the spectrum, where you've got that negative self-talk to the loudest volume, you're feeling stuck and chaotic and discombobulated. Truth be told, we all go up and down that scale. So this assessment, and I really encourage people to use this throughout your day. A lot of my clients do a little check-in 2 to 3 times per day, just to see, how am I now? What's my bandwidth? What's my capability? What's my capacity for saying yes or no? So all that being said, we give ourselves a number here. We all do. Debz and myself give ourselves a number. We encourage you to make a wee note, write it down, and then check in again with yourself at a halfway point, and then we'll all check in again at the end. Of course, our inherent vibe with all these conversations is to meet you wherever you are and take you closer to that 0. Slide you gently, nurturingly closer to the 0.
Whoosh.
Well, I would do the gentle, nurturing, slow, and Deb would do
Deb
the shove.
with forward. What's that? Don't look behind. Here I am behind you. Keep moving forward. Yeah.
So all that being said, my dear Deb, what would you put yourself at?
I'm a 1.5. Doesn't mean
1.5.
my certainty. I'm a 1.5. I
Very
don't know if I've had that much certainty in this ever for a while.
No, you would often have like a
Then there's
discombobulation of is it this or this or this or this?
and then there's a conversation I have with myself. Oh, the whole negative self-talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there.
It's funny because I go, oh, what about that? And then that, and this is where I'm at. And then I try and over-explain and blah, 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 blah. And that's literally what it sounds like for anyone who's listening. But yeah, 1.5. Thank you.
1.5. Very good. I'm a 1.0. And so that's it. So just make a wee note and check in. And it's as simple as that. Like I said, this is a simple tool to just tap in and see how are things going. What do you need? Maybe you need a hug. Maybe you need to physically move your body, things of that nature. But it's about just coming in and assessing. And then from there, we encourage you to, well, you had a note-taking device in order to record whatever number you were at. But we do encourage you to have a pen, pencil, note-taking device, electronic, whatever is your favored way of recording or making notes, because we'd like to kick this off on top tips to release negative self-talk. So the thing is that we all have it to one degree or another. So such an important topic. Where would you start us off with on releasing negative self-talk?
I would actually go to the very end and then work my way back. And Moira's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
As in, what outcome would you like? And when I say what outcome would you like, so if you're having this negative self-talk and you're looking to release it, clearly, because you listen to this podcast, what outcome actually would you like? Because if you can see, and I talk about the flowers and the weeds. So to me, the negative self-talk is weeds. So what flowers would you like in your garden? Because if you're going to pull the weeds out, you want to go, well, it's wise to look at what flowers do I want to plant? So what is the outcome you're actually looking at? So if there's a negative self-talk, you're talking about people. What outcome do you want? Do you want people not to talk about that person? Do you want people? It's also you with others, but also it's not about them. It's what do you want?
Right.
And if you're in a relationship, your partner may go, and it's a family member, your partner may go, well, I want them to never talk to me again. And then you're like, well, I want to always have them around. There's two different things. So this has to be you.
Yes.
What outcome would you like?
Right.
And then you can work, what flowers would you like? And then you can start looking at planting and pulling the weeds out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you just go to the end and then work your way back. We're not even thinking about the other people, the attachments, because that's definitely another tip. But what's the outcome you desire?
I like that. That's a good place to start. I think
at the end, and that's the end of the podcast. Thanks very much. And
not really. So here's the other part that I would like to, and it's a similar type of vibe, is that I believe that all self-talk is planted or rooted. So you put this idea of planting gardens.
I'm not a gardener. I have to say that, but I do find the flowers and the weeds an analogy that most people get. Like no one likes weeds. Well, apart from the garden.
Well, actually, I like weeds. There are some that are really beautiful. Just depends on where they are.
There you go. So there's somebody who has a different opinion.
Right.
Like literally. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So what I wanted to say though is that all self-talk is rooted in a desire for self-preservation, a desire to stay safe and secure and grounded, right? So the negative self-talk to me is simply it's like it's caught up in something that's no longer serving you. Right? We've talked before about, I'm going to talk about people pleasing here. So I've shared this before, that my father was always angry. And so I recognize and realize that that's the root of my people-pleasing tendency.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, the negative self-talk is always about, oh, you got to take care of them first. You got to do this first. You got to and so then it'll be like even beating me up about, you can't take time off, or you can't look after yourself first, or you can't not show up for that person. But that propensity was rooted in looking after me. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, rather than run away from it, it's to tell yourself the truth. What is it telling you? And maybe even bringing in some gratitude, some appreciation. So when
Did
I
you say
have
maybe? Did you say maybe?
most
Maybe.
definitely. Well, see, sometimes people have a bit of a problem, so that's why I'm saying maybe. But if you've got a negative self-talk saying you're a schmuck, or you're not good enough, or and now I tell you you need to appreciate it and be grateful for it, there's might be a wee bit of a stretch.
The friction there.
But I'm inviting you to step into it, but with the understanding that the roots of it was based on a scenario or a story or a chapter in your life where it did serve a purpose.
Yeah.
So then by saying thank you, people-pleasing tendency or aspect in me, I get that you wanted to keep me safe, but right now I'm safe and I don't need to keep doing that pattern. Does that make sense?
Yes, and then there is literally trust again.
Yeah.
And trust and certainty. And I don't know if they're separate or together, because I trust that I can do this, whatever this is, and I have the tools to do this, whatever this is, and certainty that it's not just trust, it's actually I've got this.
Yeah,
And
those are, I feel they're two separate tips. Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Moira, you can't see Moira, people. Moira's like, I can see. I mean, you can't see Moira, but when she talked about that, she put her hand on her heart
I did. Hmm.
again, instantly. And that is that trust and certainty. I've got this, and telling your soul, I have this,
Yeah. Yeah.
is is that. And I've just noticed Moira's earrings. They look really cute, but you can't see them. But I was like, I don't think I've seen those. They're new.
They are new.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's got new as I say that. But it was when she actually put her hand on her heart, I went, oh, and look at those earrings. Shiny object. Now I bet you wish it wasn't just a podcast, people. But it is that trust and certainty. Trust I've got this. Trust that the universe is going to look after me. Trust that my past stories, will get me. It's trust. And if you don't trust, if you're not sitting in trust, you're already, that negative self-talk is just going to overwhelm you and overpower you. And then there's that certainty of, I do have this.
Right.
Because the more certainty you have of things, not a-hole certainty, but I've got this, people don't interject with their opinions and helps, and they just see that you've got it. So they don't have to come and save you or whatever you want to call. But when you've got absolute certainty about something, people don't question you. It's
Yeah.
only when you have an element of doubt that people go, have you thought about this? And then you're like, why did they do that? Well, actually, you weren't certain. But the more certainty you have, not arrogant certainty, it's just, it feels right.
It's confidence. Yeah.
Confidence. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That people don't interject or give you an opinion, because you also trust yourself and you have certainty that you can deal with it. Does that all make sense? My whole.
No, it does. It does. So the thing that I would say, like, about trust says, even though I can't really see the steps ahead of me, I know they're there. I know I'm in the right place at the right time. And certainty says, I got this. I know what to do. Even I know what to do can be, it's nothing, right? Certainty
Just,
could be,
yeah.
all I need to do is right now is just sit and focus on my breath, right?
Because sometimes that's all you can do. Like if people, and I guess the tips we're giving, just pick one and start with that. But then it might not work. So if we said to you, put your hand on your heart and trust, and you're like, oh, I can't do that today. No, I don't have any trust. That's
Then
okay.
not,
So
yeah, it's not your tip today.
yeah, so pick a tip and sit with it and feel it and trust it, and then move to another one next time, or stay with that same one.
Yeah.
But if you wear that same jumper over and over and over again, it does wear itself down. But
Yes. Just to get
just
holes in the elbows.
yeah. So find what works for you and do it, but also be flexible. I guess that's
Yeah.
actually release your negative self-talk. Be flexible with your PEMs.
Yeah, flexible, but also, so that's actually, it's being flexible, but it's also telling yourself the truth, right?
Yeah,
And
but
not censoring them or saying, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this, or that's not okay, or right?
yeah,
Flexible, adaptable, and telling the truth,
yeah.
right? The one that I had made a wee note of when you were talking about the certainty and people coming and doubting you. One of the things about negative self-talk, and like I said, we all do it. I do it. I have blah blah blahs and going on
I
and yeah.
before even put on just yeah.
Yeah, you did.
You're human. So is the tip is acknowledging you're human? Is that what it is?
Well, it's actually to understand that negative talk is not you. You are the witness to it. You are listening to it. And as when you step into that from a mindfulness perspective, we talk about being the observed and the observer in the same moment. So the observed can be the one that's going blah, 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 the negative self-talk is going like really beating you up, but the observer is going, gosh, where's your PIMS at? Oh, you're a bit tired. Oh, maybe you're a bit hungry. Or maybe, maybe this isn't something for you to work your way through. So it's about coming back to a space of being kind to yourself. How can you be kind to yourself in this? I have a client that it's just so funny. No matter what she comes to the session to unpack or talk about, you wouldn't believe how many different ways and facets we've come back. And then she there's always a point in our conversation that she goes, oh, we're going at it again, aren't we? It's kindness. I need to be kind to myself.
Well, I think that's a prime example of a tip being you're not stupid.
Yeah.
Like you're literally not, you know it. Like you're not stupid. You know when you're on a tangent, you know when you're doing something and you're like, hee, or here it is again, or uh-oh, I'm on the crazy train. Like you're not stupid. Your awareness is there.
Yeah.
So I know you said something about, oh, I haven't got it written down, acknowledging, like your awareness is there, like, okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the observer part.
Yeah, that's and even that just can shift so much.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that goes to the thing that you've often said about the wanting to be seen. What is it you say? Seen, heard, and
Acknowledged.
acknowledged. Yeah. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing. You see, internally, so if you look at us from the observed and the observer point, the observed aspect of us wants to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. So, and that's why I come back to saying you got to tell yourself the truth. It's
Yeah.
okay to say, you know what, that's really pissing me off. That's okay. Whereas I know some people that would go, oh gosh, no, that's not very spiritually realized of me to say that. Right?
Well, and then yes, and well, I was thinking even just before when you were talking, we're giving you top tips to release negative self-talk. Imagine if you actually just top tips to release self-talk. Like if you actually just took even just that word negative out and just went, okay, it's self-talk. It's just self-talk. And it's a high or low, and it's a talk that can take me to a 10 or a talk that can take me to a 2. By removing that sting of that word negative.
Well, is it being kind?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it, yeah. Yeah, that like even just taking that word away. Oh, here we go. Moira will know this one. It's the 4
agreements.
It's
Yeah. Well, definitely the four agreements. This is definitely important with the negative self-talk, because negative self-talk is when we are not being impeccable with our words.
Yeah.
And we might be taking everything personally. So I'm not good enough. I did this wrong. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Or making assumptions and not doing your best. That one actually, the not doing your best, that one is a real fertile ground for negative self-talk. It's like, oh gosh, yesterday I was able to accomplish this, that, and the next thing. And today, what's wrong with me? I suck. I should be, right?
And then
That's,
that jumps into the blame game. It's
yeah,
because my kids were this, or my friend was this, or this is what's going on, or myself, I'm blaming myself. You jump into that, so the moment you jump into that blame game, see, hear, and acknowledge it. Go, whoop, here I'm getting on that crazy train. Here it is.
I think a really important piece right here too, though, that I would like to bring into this conversation is to remember the divine trinity of you. And what I'm talking about is, I like to say, the head, heart, and higher self. So if
mm,
you are in a cycle of comparing yourself to other people, or the crazy making thinking, or the I'm not good enough, or it's not happening fast enough, or that you're too much in your head. You're never
mm,
going to resolve anything listening to your head chatter, the mind chatter, the self-talk. So that's why putting your hand on your heart is such an essential piece. If you become aware of your chatter just going blah, 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 just take a deep breath, put your hand on your heart, and then do it again, and then do it again.
You can't overdo. I'm going to say you can't overdo your hand on your heart. This is not one that just stops its impact. You can do it a million times a day if you really wanted to. Each time will still have a different impact on you.
100%. But you see the other thing too, and I say,
Overdose on it. That's what I was saying. It's like you can't overdose on hand on heart. I don't believe.
no,
I
I
don't
don't
believe
think
it.
you can. But I have always said at least three, preferably five, and then more cycles of breath, deep breathe in and out. So you see what happens is that helps you, and you got to keep your hand physically on your heart, on your chest. And what that does is it helps you come into the present moment, but it also helps you open up to the guidance of your higher self. Because
Mm,
when you can dial the volume down on that negative self-talk, you'll suddenly realize, oh, actually, it's way simpler than I thought. I just have to do this. I just have to stop doing that, or I just have to go this way or that way. And it starts to help us take action, as opposed to that self-talk may keep us frozen in inaction and feeling
yeah.
like I'm stuck, I can't do anything, right?
Yeah. I love that head, heart, higher self. I I'm gonna say one thing. We talk about top tips to release negative self-talk. If it's if that negative self-talk is in your head, it is still in the universe. Whether
Mm-hmm.
it's an internal, which is in your head, or an external, which you say out loud,
Yeah.
whether you say it to somebody or yourself, like, Deborah, you're so stupid. I like the way I put my voice on there. Deborah, you're
Yeah.
so stupid. That's a new inner voice. But even if you're saying that in your head, your internal, the universe is still listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go, oh, but I didn't say it. I didn't say it to them. No one was around when I said it and I kept it in my head. No, 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 no. Doesn't matter if you keep it in your head or not,
Mm.
still going to have an impact because the universe is always listening,
Mm-hmm.
or God, or whatever you'd like to call it, the higher powers of be. It's still heard whether it's in your head or not.
Well, you're
So,
creating the vibration. Your thoughts, spoken or silent, are creating a vibration, which ripples out. That's it.
yeah.
And so when and to your point, we can, if we say, oh, well, I didn't say it out loud, or I didn't, no, it's about releasing it. Because this is what I'm saying about telling ourselves the truth.
Mm,
It's okay. Can you just be at peace? So yep, I said, there's it. something that I hear people talk about things that they hate. And I get the heebie-jeebies with that because I don't like that word.
Yeah.
But I realize that it's there. So as much as we can, see it, acknowledge it, and let it go. What do you need to do to let go of those things that you do not like, that don't vibe with you, or that you hit a wall and kind of go, oh, there's all this resistance? That's okay. It's a visit with it because we need to come through these experiences. But then can you shake it off? I like to shake off. I shake my hands and shake it off, or change
Or
change your state, right?
I love that. I love that. Whoo. I don't know whose turn it is, but I'm going to say something.
Go for it.
Be aware of other people's stories.
This is a theme that comes up often in our conversations, isn't it?
Well, there you go. Take a note of that, people, because it's the same stuff each time, most of the time. But it is because you attach to other people's stories. Moira and I were having a talk about something yesterday that happened in my group, and somebody said something and fired off, and some people were attached to it and some people weren't.
Mhm.
But it's still that person who voiced it. It's their story. You don't have to go to a smorgasbord of food and go, I'll take that story and I'll put that on my plate. I'll take that story and put that on my plate. I'll take that. You don't have to do any of that. So be aware that their stories are their stories. Yours are yours. And if a wobble comes up because you heard somebody's story, then it's your story to attach to and deal with, and then let it go. Not attach to and put it into your world
Like,
and have to
oh,
deal with it.
I'll keep hold of that.
I'll take that trauma. I'll put that on. Yeah, no. It's just attached to it. Work on it very quickly. Release it. Done. Move on. Like, don't take it and just go, that's not mine or whatever. So just be aware of other people's stories.
A tip that I like to think of in this too is, can you get yourself to a place of, oh, that's an interesting point of view? You know, if somebody's telling you a story, well, that's an interesting point of view. There's no attachment to it. It's like, that's an interesting way of looking at that.
Yeah.
Because there's an acknowledgement, but you're not taking it in. That's an interesting way of doing that. It's a different way of perceiving that, right?
Well, that's that seen, heard, and acknowledged.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see them, I can hear them, I can acknowledge it. I don't have to take it on.
Yeah, I'm not taking it personally. There's the 4 agreements there too.
Yeah. I like that. That's an interesting story. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
if you just label it a story,
yeah,
the sting, the impact, the event is just an event. That's it. Like, it's just a story. It's just that. It's just that. It's just a word. It's just. It's not as big as what we think.
yeah, because, and that's why I was saying about it being creating a vibration, because if we continue adding fodder to a vibration and keep animating it and stoking the fire of it, then it is going to get bigger and bigger, and it also almost becomes the lens through which you see everything else, right? If you go around saying, oh, this always happens to me, this always happens, what's the point of me trying to do something different? Because it always goes like this. Guess what? You're creating that because you are coming up with that assumption and you are coming up with that vibration before you even take stock of what is. So that's why, hand on your heart and really staying present to what feels right. Another one of my favorite questions to suggest here, and this actually is appropriate here too, is how do I feel about myself here?
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciously-motivated-mindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciously-motivated-mindset.com/gift.
So how do I feel
Mm.
about myself here while I have all this dialogue going on in my head, whether it's kind or unkind, or
Yeah.
using these words, or in this group, or saying no to that opportunity? How do I feel about myself? And if we go into here and say, well, I feel like a loser, or I feel like I'm not doing the right thing, or I feel like I missed the boat, those
Got
are
me.
informing you of something.
I don't even hear that word, even as Moira's just saying it in the podcast. I'm like laughing, going, God, I never even heard her say that. Like a loser here on me. Even us saying that, like, we just said the universe, no, we're just creating a podcast. Okay, people, the universe, you're listening to that. But I like one of the things we haven't talked is when you say something, cancel,
Oh yes, cancel, cancel, cancel.
yeah, so when you say something and you can hear it, like, I'm a loser here, cancel, I can't even say it, cancel, because it just puts a little bit of humor and a break of the energy in the state you're in to, how do I feel about myself here?
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you back to, I don't know, a wholesome place, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. But it also helps you maintain connectivity to the present moment. Because when those dialogues are going of I'm a loser, or I screwed up, I did this wrong, they happen.
Yeah.
But trying to pretend that dialogue's not happening, that's not going to work either, because the vibe's there. And so doing cancel, 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 or shaking your hands off, or saying thank you for your wisdom, thank you for the perspective, choosing something different, or I am safe,
I've
or I
got
am
this.
here, or I am right.
Yeah.
I'm choosing something different. That's another thing, is choosing. Who are you choosing to listen to? Releasing negative self-talk. Whose voice are you going to listen to? Because you know something, that's actually a really important tip here too, is, and I do this, who said that?
Yes.
Ask yourself, who said that? Right?
I had to laugh because I was just thinking that's got to be our next tip. And then, ta-da, Moira appears with it. But it's, who said that? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
And what happened when you were 4 when they said this and now you're 50? Like, you've held on to this for so long and you realize actually it wasn't mine to hold on to.
Yeah.
That was actually mum's stuff that she, and right there you're breaking that generational pattern.
The ancestral pattern. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right there, you're like, actually, that's mum.
Yeah.
I know what mum's upbringing was like. Well, okay, done. That's not mine. But it is that. Who said that? And that's how quick, my fingers didn't click then. That's how quick click. That's how quick it can change. Who said that? And the answer
it was
will come
Dad.
straight
Thanks,
away.
Dad. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Dad. Okay, sis, thanks. Got it. Move on. It can be that quick of the click.
Quick of it. Yeah. Well, you see, that's the thing about releasing things. It's not necessarily that you've got to go and pull it all the way down to the roots and get through every single nuance and every single pattern or
3
possibility.
weeks, 8 hours a day for 3 weeks to heal your trauma that you've got.
Yep. Nope. You can just see a really important tip here is once you see it, that's it. That's it. It has no power over you anymore. Done.
Yeah, it's just a word, or it's just a sentence, or it's that's it. And you don't, I know what I'm saying. Yeah.
So this is it's always choose the verbiage, choose the channel that you listen to, choose the words you use, choose the vibes you want to give off, and be that.
Yeah.
Right?
I was choosing. What am I choosing today? What did I choose earlier before I got on the call with Moira? One of the things, these are actually 2 tips that somebody presented one of them to me yesterday, and I was like, well, that's a crock of shite, was what my instinct. Then I went, that's
well,
what
that's
I said.
negative self-talk.
No, I was like, well, that ain't gonna work. And then I was like, actually, it might work. And then I'm like, actually, if you believe it, it is going to work. So that was funny. So I had that whole sentence. But I'm going to share that tip with you today, people, that I thought was a crock. But the truth is, behind anything we do, you must have that belief and trust that it's going to work. That's it. So
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if we just give you these tips and you're like, well, that ain't going to work, then it's not going to work for
Then
you.
it won't.
100% not. But if
Yeah.
you just go, oh, okay, I trust it's going to work, or I believe it's going to work. But one of them was say whatever you want to say into your hand. If you want to say it to somebody else, say it into your hand, talk into your hand, and then blow it away or throw it away. Now, well, there was actually like a whole 5-minute build up to that. And I just condensed it down to that's pretty much it. Sit, feel, and I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time to hear the end of this. This is where my head was at. But if you believe that's going to work, to say whatever you want to say and throw it away and say, I trust this is gone. I trust this is going to be resolved, whatever. That's
Then it
it,
will.
done. And the same with writing it down and burning it.
Yeah, I like that one. I've said that one oftentimes. Yeah.
The arsonist and Moira.
Yeah. Well, it's actually because I like to meditate on the smoke, and that really feels like it's being transmuted.
Yeah.
Lifted away.
So there's the writing it down and as Moira said, the meditating and seeing it go, like that's there as well. So whatever one it is, just it will work for you if you just have that trust and belief. But you can say it, throw it away, write it
Shake your hands
down.
off. You can just shake your hands off. I do that one as well. I like that one. Or stamp your feet.
Oh yeah. So the key behind all these little things is trust and belief. And that's it. But yesterday someone was telling me, I was like, yeah, that's a crock of. And then the more they talked about it, I was like, it's only because it took 5 minutes to describe it. And I was like, come on, just what is it? Just tell me. But by the time my ego went into check, by the time I got to the end, and then went, okay, yeah, this could work. This, if you believed it, it would work. If you believe it, it will work.
And absolutely, that's that. If the mind can conceive it and you can believe it, then you can achieve it. Oh, hey, I remember that.
Oh, I like that.
that.
I'm actually, if your mind, and then I'm just going to go, Moira, if I have to do that tip to recap at the end, I'm going to say, Moira, what's that one?
But you see, something that I thought of when you were just sharing that, because you're saying if you believe it and you trust it, but there's a little sub point to that too. I would say is a willingness to try things.
And don't be rigid.
Yeah, don't be rigid. Well, we said flexible already, but this is like when you're maybe you're listening to somebody telling you an approach or an idea or a mindset tip or something. Listen to it and try it on. Try it on, try it out. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to, it's not a have to, but it's the best way to inform you of, does it resonate? How does it make you feel? See, how do I feel about myself here? And if you do it and you get to what Deb's saying, that's a crock, then that's okay. It's not for you. It's okay.
It was perfect negative self-talk. No, it wasn't negative self-talk. It was just talk and judgment upon, like, I know better. But I love that. Just try it out. And I think that's a perfect one because the tips we've shared, give it a go.
Yeah.
What have you got to lose? You're already in the state you're in. So we'll throw it out there and something's going to work. It does.
Absolutely. I've said this before to my groups on Insight Timer, is that if I share a tip and you have to really work on trusting yourself, because there will be some times that you hear a tip or an approach and you kind of go, oh, actually, that makes sense. It doesn't vibe with me right now, but I'm going to make a note of it. Because there is no one size fits all for any of these tips or approaches. That's why we need a toolkit and a whole plethora of mindset approaches, right?
That's why these are called top tips.
That's right. A plethora. Did you like that? It's a plethora of tips.
Plethora. That's a big word. I'm not even going to write that one down because I wouldn't even know how to spell it in my head unless I had to. These are valuable tips.
Yes, I would say so too.
These are incredibly valuable tips.
Plural.
To release negative self-talk. So in saying that, I know Moira and I would be happy just to keep talking. Let's just
Of
keep
course,
talking.
because we would.
But we are going to wrap this up because otherwise we would say top 100 tips to release negative self-talk. And we're not going to do that. So
No.
grab your pen and paper, people, because we're just going to wrap everything we've talked about up now to give you the briefest version. I'm saying that to myself, actually. The briefest version of our top tips to release negative self-talk. Moira, I'd love you to kick it off.
Sure. Well, the first tip that, and it was you that said this, is to start at the end. The end in mind. What outcome would you like? What would you like? Not what would you like to keep this person happy, but what's the outcome? And that's when Deb talked about what are the flowers you really like. And it's really important to know that in order to then say, well, these are weeds and I'm taking them out. Or are there weeds that you actually like the colors of them too, and you're going to keep some of them? Who knows?
Yeah, well, then you have to look at how many are coming through. But work your way backwards.
Mhm.
Who would have thought I'd say work your way backwards being our first tip? The next one I have is I actually wrote all self-talk as a desire to ... And then I got overwhelmed by what Moira was saying. I was like, yeah, that's true, and I forgot. But I wrote the roots of it is based on a story and a chapter in your life. So you're basically thanking that chapter and letting it go.
Right.
Now, Moira's going to fill in the gaps that I did the ...
The ... was that everything is based on wanting to keep you safe and secure and aligned and looking good. Because that's actually another component of negative self-talk is, oh my God, what if somebody saw you? You would look stupid or you would look awful or you wouldn't, right?
Well, that's like, do you have Big Brother over there?
Yeah. Well, they do in the States.
Yeah, imagine if they had a film crew, Big Brother, that filmed you for a week and then uploaded that to the world. Would you want everyone to see your thoughts and actions?
Mm-hmm.
I will say no. Even I would say no way, no way. I don't need people to see all that. For me personally, but yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. It's mine. So the next one is trust. This is, you did a double whammy, but we decided to keep them
Double whammy.
separate. So trust, always trusting that no matter what things are looking like externally, you are always in the right place at the right time. And sometimes that means, okay, I just have to put my hand on my heart and stay present to what is happening and what do I need to do in this moment. So trust.
Yeah.
So because negative self-talk can sometimes undermine that and think, oh, nope, you're not. Things are falling apart, and no, they're actually not. Sometimes things have to, there's a saying that says that sometimes things have to fall apart in order for the next best thing to come
Be
together.
put together. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hand on heart is a public one in my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Moment that some people, when they have a negative self-talk, they had a
Oh,
this is
the
actually
elastic band.
Dr. John Demartini did it for he thought he'd analyze everything for a year, and every time he had a negative self-talk he wrote it down, but prior to that, every time he had a negative self-talk he'd ping himself with elastic band, and he was like, well, this is just hurting.
Yeah, I don't like that. I've
I'm
heard
not
of
gonna
that one
do-
before in other places.
And then he started writing them down. And every time he realized he had a negative self-talk, it was triggered to something. So he recognized this pattern. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, because if you know Dr. John Demartini, he's definitely, he likes to, he's a different character. He would analyze all that stuff, everything, what's going on around you. He would spend all that time. Me personally, I don't need to. And I would say to a lot of people, you don't need to do that. But he's a human behavior, and he had to dig into all that stuff. So he did all the research for all of us. And I'm like, okay, great. Thanks, John Demartini. I don't need to do that now.
Right.
But the pinging thing, but hand on heart is something you can do. If you had Big Brother moment there, you can see that. You can do it in the supermarket. You can do it on stage if you're talking. You can do it anywhere. It's just that. But the next one I had from that was having that certainty and confidence.
Yeah.
And that literally goes again back to that hand on the heart.
Yeah.
Just hand on heart and having that confidence, not overpowering, overbearing confidence, but I've got this.
Mhm.
Confidence, I've got this.
And that's when you said that we're not stupid. You're not stupid.
Yeah.
You can have certainty. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one that I had here was the to be the observer and the observer, the observer and the observer, the observer and the observed. So in this, it is so important to remember that you need to be kind to yourself. If you've got a lot of negative self-talk going, that's not kind. So the kindness can sometimes be the thank you for the pattern or the intelligence that's trying to keep me safe, but I'm good right now. So thank you. So the observer can kind of go, oh, but that's actually not what's happening in this present moment. You know, that I'm not being chased or criticized or ridiculed, or I don't have to jump out and please somebody or look after somebody right now because I'm safe, I'm good, I'm in alignment. So that's about that's actually something else. How can I be kinder to myself here? Is another really good way or antidote to negative self-talk.
And Moira, we at the very start we did our PEMS, and that's even just that. Just tell yourself the truth about the PEMS. And
Yeah.
I personally, while it's not going to say I don't care if you're a 10, I do. But my thing is, I'm not going to attach yourself to a 10. My vision and mission is to bring you close to the 0. But I'm not going to go, oh, you're a 10, you poor thing, you know that.
Oh gosh, yes, because that's not going to serve anybody.
No. So yeah, so for me, okay, you're a 10. Let's work on it. Let's jump into the strategy of how can we move you close to the 0. But once you can see that, you know, it goes back to that seen, heard, acknowledged. Once you can see that, like, oh, okay, that's it. Tell yourself the truth. If you don't tell yourself the truth, you're just going to be on a tangent of Ferris wheel and fear, and there's going to be a lot of pain attached to that if you continue to tell lies.
Well, it's also going to perpetuate the dialogue in your mind, isn't it?
It's going to run ragged.
It's going to crazy making thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will run.
Yeah, you'll be on that crazy train.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down you were witnessing negative self-talk. No idea what I wrote that, but I wrote down beside it, be kind to yourself. Again, I'm just going to reiterate that because every time Moira said that, I was like, what a beautiful word, kind. Be kind to yourself. And kind today could be saying no. Kind today could be having a drink of water. Kind today could be, I don't know, kind of spraying yourself with perfume or my glitter. I talk about my glitter.
There you go.
Glitter. Be kind to yourself. Do what feels right for you right here, right now. Half an hour later, it might be different, but be kind to yourself. Yeah.
And that's leading on from that, we were talking about being flexible and adaptable. And so it actually leads on nicely from that about being kind, right? Because it's like, well, you know, being kind to me today might be taking a few moments to draw a card and just meditate on that. Whereas being kind tomorrow might be I need to go for a longer walk. Being kind to myself might be having a cup of tea. There's so many different things. So it's being flexible, adaptable, and moving with and reacting to what's there. What's your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual needs? Take it from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got you are not stupid. Now, I think we just talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That one came up when we were doing the certainty.
And that's that seen, heard, and acknowledged. You as a person, just like anyone else, would like to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. And then if you can capture those 3 things, you see things and you hear things differently in your interaction with others and yourself. So you can't hide from stuff.
No,
Just
but that's honoring the seen, heard, and acknowledged within you too. This is to do with your relationship, you with you, right?
yeah, back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The next one I had here was we weaved in the 4 agreements into
Mm.
the releasing negative self-talk. So in order to release negative self-talk, you want to remember to be impeccable with your word, to not take things personally, to not make assumptions, and to always do your best. Those are they're so simple, but they're so powerfully interwoven with the self-talk piece.
They are so simple, yet they can be overpowering, but they don't have to be. They are literally simple.
Mm-hmm.
And you just pick something, a wobble, a glitch, or whatever, and look at the simplicity of it.
Yeah,
Am I doing those? That's by the 4 agreements.
yeah.
Yeah. They're clear and crisp, clear, crisp, and clean.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue with them.
They're a beautiful way to set intentions. You could just start up your day. Just for today, I'm going to be impeccable with my word. Just for today, I'm not going to take anything personally. Just for today, I release all assumptions, and just for today, I'm going to do my best. That's it. Just for
And
today.
and at the start, we talked about what outcome would you like? Let's work backwards.
Yeah,
There, start with those. Today, I'm going to start with the 4 agreements.
yeah,
That's work your way backwards. And just saying those things instantly puts you into your heart and you have a different, and then somebody challenges you or you challenge yourself, and then you're like, okay, just for today, I'm going to, and you're just going back to that same reminder for
yep,
yourself.
yep.
Yeah. I've got here that remember the divine trinity of you, which is your head, heart, higher self, which goes back to you're not stupid again.
Gosh, you
Again,
really threaded that one in here, didn't you?
maybe there's something going into me because clearly this is my stuff. If I'm having to repeat it, it's my stuff. You haven't picked that one up, people.
That's funny.
But it is. Remember that, and I love the way Moira said it's your head, your heart, and your higher self. Just even saying that brings, if you're an 8 out of the PEMS, it just to me would take me right down to the 1 or 2.
Yeah,
Just shifts,
yeah.
bring that
Calms your
you
whole state down for sure.
yeah,
Mhm.
you're that's it. It just takes you that one. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna take any tip. That's a
there
good
you
one.
go. That's a
Yep,
good
done.
one.
Yeah.
The next one I have here is where you talked about being aware of other people's stories. And that's when I suggested, could you get yourself to the place of, well, that's an interesting point of view, or that's a different way of looking at it. Because like Deb was saying when she brought that up, it's that if you get really triggered and, oh my God, that's terrible, or that's you, then you need to do some work on it too. And that's part of your own negative self-talk.
Mm.
So it's to get into a place of neutrality is a really good place to go to.
Just saying, that's an interesting story.
Hmm.
The person you're talking to is then going to go, oh, they're not buying into my drama. They're not feeding on this. They're literally like, that's an interesting story. Well, you're on your way. Boom, done. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to do this and say this. I wrote just before that was actually if you're using these words, whether in your head or your voice, it's already out there.
Mhm.
And more use the wording, you're creating a vibration already,
Yeah.
a vibration already.
Mhm.
And I love that because whether it's in your head or not, you're already sending that vibration out there. So cancel, cancel, cancel.
Yes.
When it comes out, you can just giggle to yourself and say cancel, cancel, cancel. Or you can hear it, or whether it comes out externally or internally, cancel, cancel, cancel. It just pulls you back to that of how do I feel about myself here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just grounds that whole vibration you're sending out.
Yep.
And you're also honoring yourself that I'm going to do something about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing something about this. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. The next one I have, and it's one of the ones I've said often is who said that? That's when you said that you were thinking, and then I went and said it. Who said that? So if you've got some kind of negative dialogue coming in your own head, or you're speaking it out, pause for a wee moment. See, who said that? Where did it come from? Because oftentimes, and in my own experience, it's like, oh gosh, that's my mother, or that's my father, or that's
And
somebody
then
that's
I
not
find
here anymore.
I giggle when I get it. I
Yeah.
go, oh, I wouldn't have thought that. And, oh, wow, no wonder. Or, oh, surprise.
Or
Yeah.
that's a different perspective. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. And you use the word choose.
Yeah.
Who are you choosing to listen to?
Yeah.
And just when you make that choice, every day you're making a choice that's in the best interest of you. Who are you choosing to listen to? Just as instantly like putting your hand on your heart without physically putting your hand. Who am I choosing to listen to? It just takes you back to that. Who am I choosing to listen to? Yeah.
Yep. The next
Um,
one was where you talked about belief and trust. You have to have belief and trust in something, even when you think it's a crock originally.
I know I was a little bit judgmental. I would just say a little bit. And if the person's listening, thank you for giving me entertainment on my podcast. But I shifted it by the time we got to the end of it. But it is that belief and trust.
Mm-hmm. That in order for something to work for you, and it has to be rooted in your own belief and trust, not that, oh, I have to do it this way because so-and-so said this is going to help. It's not going to work for
You must only listen to Moira and Deborah with these tips. Okay. You must only listen, or you're going to be striked by no. Cancel.
So no, the part of this is that I had said was that I do really hope that people have a willingness to try something. It's like, for sure, you can listen to an idea and think, and you might have an inner critic come up and say, well, there's no way it's going to be that simple. That won't work. And that's fine. Thank you for that input. But try it out anyway and see. Because sometimes you might be, like you were saying, you tried it out and you went, oh, it actually could work.
Damn, it does work. Damn.
Yeah.
You're never too old to learn.
Exactly.
You're never too old to learn. So maybe that's a whole tip on its own. You're still learning and evolving all the way through this. This being life, whether you want it or not.
I
Yeah.
love that you just brought that up. I've done this before, but I have to read out this quote I have a daily gratitude calendar, desk calendar, and Deb just rolls her eyes. So this quote is by Carmen Maria Machado. I hope I'm saying that properly. The quote says, "Will I ever be done transformed in the past tense, or will I always be transforming better and better until I die?"
Oh,
Isn't that awesome?
that's beautiful. Well, I won't tell you my one. The one on my face. I mean, the one on my desk. That's a beautiful one.
It just feels it's like that. It's always we're always needing to try new tips and try new perspectives and shift
Yeah.
and change, and I
That's
love that quote.
beautiful. Well, there's no mistake that came up now, so you're never too old. Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, see?
Perfect. And one of the a couple of the tips we had was say it into your hand and blow it away.
Mhm.
And Moira said she writes it out and she meditates on it and burns it.
Mhm.
Because but whatever you use, it does go back to that belief.
Yep.
Try to go, what's the worst thing can happen? It works. What's the worst thing can happen? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
This is why you make the podcast. There's a lot here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your mind, and I wrote this,
And she
if
said,
your mind, and I went, I'm going to just go ... and Moira's going to remember it. So Moira, if your mind,
no, it's what your mind can conceive of and you can believe you can achieve. What the mind can conceive and you can believe you can achieve.
it's that simple, people.
It's that simple.
Simple. That's how simple it is. So in saying that, I'm just going to do one more tip. Moira's like, oh. And my tip is, Moira and I are here for you.
Mhm.
We are here to give you the best outcome you can have in your world. We don't like seeing people stuck. I don't like to see people stuck. I've been trying to fix this or whatever's going on for 15 years. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
If you're stuck, if you're in that 10, we did our PIMS at the start. If you're in that 10 or you're a 9 or you're a 3, even a 3, our intention is to bring you to a 0. That's why we do these conversations. This is why we do our social media, to just give you little things, because I don't want to see you stuck. Moira doesn't want to see you stuck. And we have all the tools that can transform every single thing you have going on in your mind. I have absolute certainty I can give Moira one of my people and she can clear that stuff. And the same with me, I can clear that stuff. We are different, yet we're a team. So you don't have to do this alone. We are here for you 100%.
I love that.
And now
So
I'll wrap
true.
it up.
So true.
That is it. That is it. So we started the start of the day with start of the podcast with our PIMS. You checked in halfway, and then we're now just going to check in at the end. And our intention was take you close to the 0. If you didn't move, that's okay. That's okay. And if you did move, whether you went higher or lower, it's okay, because we're here for you. There's something going on we would love to help you with. So Moira, what was your number? Oh, yours was a 1.
Yeah, I was a 1 and you were a 1.5. And
let me just use my intuition here. What are you? What are you now? Same.
0.
I'm a 0 too. I think these are incredibly valuable tips. I'm going to go back and just pivot on a couple of them, because I clearly said it a few times in there. So
Yeah, that's funny.
There's a clearly and Moira call on it. There's like, I'll go back.
Wove in quite a few times.
There's clearly something going on in my world. So I'm still a 0, but I am going to pivot back to that. Yeah. So if you like today, there's steps for you. If you like today, we would love you to continue on this journey. So the next step is reach out to us. Reach out to us and say, what one was your favorite tip? Did we leave any off here? So the next step for you is reach out to us and let us know what one was your favorite tip and did we leave any off here? And we're here for you.
Yeah.
So that's us signing off on our top tips to release negative self-talk with our deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Debz and Moira. Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. And thank you for the inspiring conversation today.
Thank you, dear Debz. Thank you, listeners. And thank you, Internet.
Yeah.
This has been a good conversation. We will be back for our next one. Bye.
Bye.